Oh, well, I mean, you told me to store your computer for you, but you didn't tell me to charge your computer.
It's so kind of you.
I made sure it wasn't stolen. I mean, I think that's where my responsibility ends. All right, let's see where...
Oh, goodness, I hope I last during the live stream. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, here we go. There we are. Look.
I'm trying to find us.
It's you and me.
I would hope so.
Live chat, Timo and Tim. Hello.
Ooh, hello.
I was very excited to tell everybody about why Jessie was so late, but she managed to show up on time.
Even though I'm behind on everything else, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Unbelievable. So, anyway, so yeah, how many mountains everybody climb over the past week? For me, it was 0.
Well, I definitely climbed 2 mountains.
Impressive.
Thank you.
Impressive. You're still managing to hold together. By the way, you should. I don't know. Can you scoot forward?
I can try, but right now I'm going to stay right where I am as I'm getting our poll results, which I was running a wee bit late, and so it's not done yet. So I'm doing that right now, which means David is in charge of reminding everyone where we are and getting some general chit chat going as I do this.
Yeah. So let's talk about the fact that that Jessie was staying somewhere in downtown Long Beach, and thought that at 1:01 p.m. she could take a shower and then get here on time. What on earth?
Listen.
Technically, you made it on time.
I did. I made it with like 3 minutes to spare, so I knew exactly what I was doing.
So
we had a lot of votes this week.
Yeah, today's poll was contentious, and I am going to admit that I may not have had a horse at the beginning, but now I do, and so I am really nervous about the results of this poll. Yeah.
As you should be.
Unbelievable. There are noises being made. If the patrons screwed us on this one, so help me.
I don't know what your definition is of that. Oh, I should have kept that open because I'm trying to remember what all the options were.
Yeah.
Oh, it's at the top. We're good. Okay, so now.
Yeah.
Now, Graham, getting the next Lexergy version working feels like a mountain. I give that to you. Yay. Okay, so yeah, now I can scoot up if I'm
Let's see.
far back.
All right, I'm going to scoot over here.
You're going to hold my laptop while I scooch.
That's the scootest I can most.
The scootest you can most. Is that?
Yeah.
How are we now? Waiting for... Excuse me.
I mean, you're still
laptop.
You're still a little bit in shadow, I think, but it's better.
I mean, we also don't have a light on. Does that ever help?
In this economy?
Fair. Miles. Yeah. Okay, so I think... Oh, I'm not in the document yet. Then I'm ready.
Okay.
It's a process.
Hashtag trust the process.
Oh my gosh. And I forgot that we don't actually have a name for this.
Yeah. Just gonna...
As of course we wouldn't because...
Oh, good
Lord.
I'm just gonna relax a little bit. Well...
Okay.
I wait for this.
Guys. Okay, now I'm ready. And actually, you know what? Before we really get started,
Read that as holla, Freunde. Sorry. Okay.
You would.
Yeah.
Before we get started, can you scroll up and show our cute little mouse emoji for this season?
Yeah. For patrons,
Ah!
if you subscribe to our Patreon at either the confidant, consultant, or conspirator level, you get one of these little friends. This will be the monthly emoji marker. And at some point in time, I assume there will also be mouse emojis on the Discord.
Yes, there will be. Listen.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I made a rabbit one of these too. I don't know if it works as well because the thing is, in order to accommodate the ears of the rabbit rabbit has to be smaller.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried a lop beard?
No, but I can.
Might be interesting.
And if you want to replace all the work that you've already done, I can totally do that.
No.
Okay, now I am ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick on the consonant chart because that's where we want to be. So today's poll was about what type of codas we were gonna have, and as you can see here, we have a number of ejectives, stops, so voiceless and ejective stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them. 10 of them. Also, the 4 fricatives, ejective and non-ejective, 3 approximants, and 4 nasals. That is a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, don't look.
Oh, right.
You're not supposed to look.
No, I'm not supposed to
it's
look.
an unveiling.
Yeah.
Okay. So in last place.
That's a Shiba Inu. Sorry.
He's pointing at a picture that nobody else can see.
Yeah.
In last place with 0 votes was only N.
Yeah, I thought, I threw it on there. It was a nice option. This is basically the Japanese codas. Or at least, Japanese has other codas now. Despite the claims of whispered vowels. But mainly Japanese only has the single nasal as a coda, and so it's fine. It was a thought. It was an idea. The patrons rejected it. I think that was the smart thing to do.
Okay, yeah. So next up with 4 votes is all codas.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, at least. Could you imagine? Okay, so that's good.
After that is nasals and approximants with only 6 votes.
Okay, so that would have been all of these, just these 2 rows. And now for the top 2, which were super close, and which I believe this is where David realized he actually had a preference. Yep. Your preference came in second. You're kidding me. With 20 votes, alveolars, and then 22 votes for the win is non-glottal codas. And David didn't realize, I don't think, until, last night, this morning, that you actually had a preference? Well, when I saw that it wasn't going to win, oh my gosh, guys, you screwed me again. Unbelievable. I dialed up some patrons specifically and said, hey, I need you to vote. Unbelievable. What was the total number of votes? We had 53 votes. Are you? Wait. Does that mean if people voted twice? Okay. Or 3 times. So that's counting every individual vote. No, okay. How many patrons did we have that voted? Well, let me see. Okay. That one's harder to figure out. Sort this by A to Z. Oh, yeah, good call. Well, but that requires, my computer is half hidden under a table. Wait, what? No. Go back. What? Go right here. Sort ascending. Done. Yeah, but that doesn't help unless you still want to count. Well, just, you know what I mean? So, okay, look, here's the point. We have, what, 57 patrons right now? And I don't think that we had 30 patrons voting. So, let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson about, voter turnout. You see what happens.
About somebody, I think this is where it starts over again. I don't know.
Unbelievable.
I know it has to be before that. I see. Okay, so I can figure that out, but you go on and tell us about the ramifications of this vote.
So, among other things...
Okay, we had 23 patrons voting.
23. 57 patrons, we had 23 votes. Unbelievable. Among other things, we can have all of these as syllables, and theoretically all of that garbage.
Yeah, but that's theoretically before we have like phonological shifts and changes. Just because that was allowed in the protoform doesn't mean that tamta won't change to something like tanta to get assimilation. So like that second row, just get rid of it. The top row, yes, we could have those, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm okay with it.
Are you also okay with this?
Again, phonological shifts can take care of that because, yeah, I get it. Like, there are some approximants that maybe we don't want as codas in terms of pronunciation features. But if it is the coda, for especially word final coda, then we can... Good Lord. That's what phonological rules are for.
Oh, my God. So, the winner... somebody was are ejected allowed as codas? No. So there are no ejective codas, which is kind of a bummer because that would have actually been helpful for tone, which is why, oh my God. If we'd had alveolars, look, we have a nasal, we have an approximant, we have a non-ejective and an ejective that would have given us so much to work with. Now we have this. Right in the heart. Okay.
Although Graham is saying, can we not have nasal assimilation for once?
No. Oh gosh, no. We gotta.
Jake, don't be sorry. Listen, just because David had a horse in the race doesn't mean he has to win.
Look, you gotta look ahead at where this thing is going, right? So we're doing a polysynthetic, or we're trying to do a polysynthetic language, which means that in order to make it actually work, you're gonna have to be dealing with a lot of
Okay, but also Jake really points out a good thing here. Are we gonna be losing a lot of these to tone? Perhaps. Perhaps. Maybe not, but maybe, because it depends on where we decide to get the tone from. But that is a good point. Like, we may not even have all these codas by the end. They may have just left a trace, or they may only appear in certain situations. And so there's so many things we can do with what we have. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm. You would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, back to this awesome language. Here we go. Wait, hold on.
It is awesome.
How do you change the brightness on a thing? I accidentally changed the brightness here. There we go. Look at that. Yeah.
Holy God, I feel like my eyes just went through.
I know.
Thank you, Miles. Yes, I time my water sips purposefully.
Given your fair complexion, I realize that a screen this bright might lead to another sunburn.
So yesterday, though, for real, I was on a hike where, like, part of the ground you're walking on, like, sandstone, which is very white and very bright. And, like, my eyeballs got sunburned. And so all of a sudden, this bright light is like, flashbacks. I'm okay. I'm okay. But it also brightened our faces on the live stream. That was what you needed. It was just whoosh.
Yeah.
This is how much light is coming at me from his monitors, so I may be looking down a lot. Just
By the way, there's some sort of a...
Sorry, I'm laughing at Chris's comment.
Oh, I bet you are. All right, so there's some sort of a key combination on here which causes the screen to either dim or brighten, and I accidentally press it sometimes. Now, ordinarily, it's just a button, right? Like, or at least on the older Mac keyboards, it's just a button. But this is a Microsoft keyboard. Like, the only thing they do good are these ergonomic keyboards. And so I love them, so they don't have the little brightness thing. Oh, right. By the way, because of course I'm over here now. Yeah, let me take this out of your way. Now you can use the...
Which is great, because I suggested that before we began, and you were like, nah, it's fine.
I didn't quite understand. I apologize.
You didn't understand move your water bottle to your side of the desk?
No, I haven't been firing on all the cylinders for the past 24 hours. I really apologize for that. I'm getting there.
It's because the Suns lost last night, and I'm very sorry.
It was really hard to see Chris Paul do that. He knows what he did. He'll be better next game.
Life will go on. Okay, let's talk about mouse language.
Yeah. Okay, so. All right.
That's why my name is Sassafras.
Okay, so last time we did this, which I think it's good. I think we're happy with it. Mm-hmm. But we didn't do this, and we probably should.
Oh, and I will say, side note, totally off topic, but there's a comment in chat, and so yeah. Chris, there was only one location where we hiked where it was over 100 degrees, and it was quite a day. It was very, very hot. It got up to 106 that day, and whew. But then the other two places three really, the other places we were hiking were in locations where it was much, much cooler. And so, yeah, I think actually then on those hikes, the hottest it got was like upper 80s. And so not too shabby. But also, the days we climbed mountains, it was definitely in the 80s. I could not have climbed a mountain in 100 plus heat because, yeah, that day was brutal.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you could see this, but the new shirt, this is from Yosemite.
Yeah. I got I don't know how far I have to stretch up, but it's Yosemite, and it's a bear, and it's awesome because I saw 3 bears in Yosemite.
3?
3. Count them.
I think you only told me about the 2.
Sorry. There were 3.
Ah, man.
I forgot one bear, apparently, but it was very exciting.
Okay, so, what was this? Were we doing this after?
So we were trying to figure out what codas were possible before we figured out what happened to monophthongs. So we decided what would happen to diphthongs really across the board, regardless of whether it's an open or closed syllable. Once we started this chart, we realized very quickly, though, that, like, we needed to know, like, was it being followed by a nasal? Was it being followed by a particular sound? Because you can't just say open or closed with something like this. Mm-hmm. It could definitely be influenced by, for instance, if a high vowel is followed by that J glide approximate, right. One of those situations. So, like, we wanted to wait until we knew. Now, this is obviously a bit more complicated because all codas except the adjectives are allowed. And so deciding how to make this chart and, like, what's going to happen to the vowels that are monophthongs could be a bit more complex.
Yes, indeed. Ugh. Okay, so, I mean, I don't even know why we put an open because nothing's going to happen. Well, I mean, that's going to become E, but... Right, and so... we know that.
But didn't we also say that if you scroll down, wasn't the O going to move up to take its place?
No, OU.
Oh, okay. AU.
and double O.
I was demonstrating what would become the O.
Yeah. Well done there.
Thank
well
you.
done there.
Thank you. Wesley, you are right. Forgotten Bear would make a fun band name.
This is interesting. The result of this is that there's going to be a lot more O in this language than there would otherwise. So, I suppose...
Mouse languages are very O-y.
Well, I suppose we could look into O becoming oo as well. Or if we were doing stress, we could say it did that in stress situations. But I don't know, that might get a little bit too... That might get a little bit too much. So let's...
Just a second.
Yes.
Would it be possible to show that on screen?
Yeah. Can you make it bigger?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so this is from my sister's backyard, and it feels very appropriate for our language and needs to be a character. We're waiting to see if it actually shows up where it needs to show up on the screen.
Oh, it's not close enough.
Oh, but do you see that cute white rat? Oh, that was in my sister's backyard. And so this needs to be a speaker of course, the rat dialect. There we go.
We can, by the way, you can put that picture on Discord or throw it up on the Patreon. You could do it for your Saturday post.
What?
I know. Okay, so, all right, so coda. So yeah, so we don't actually have to bother with open syllables. Let's do J and W.
And then can you scroll up so that way the chart is above our...
Yes, thank you for reminding me about that. So yeah, these two, and let's do R as well.
Sorry.
What?
It was just funny to look up and see FR. I was like, yeah, that's something. Oh, hi, Bib.
Who? Oh, was Bib already gone? I didn't notice.
I feel like Bib was underground for a while, right? While you worked on your last video, because I think that took a lot of effort.
Let's see.
Did we want nasals to do something? Because a lot of times nasals influence the vowel before them.
Yeah.
In terms of heightening or, in some cases, lowering. But it also depends on which nasal.
Yeah,
anyway, so did you want to...
Because we have a palatal nasal, so... So I think it's going to make a difference if these things come before, come at the end of the word or before a consonant, right? Should that be what we're assuming? So it's like this, right?
That it either be... Yes, because if it comes before another vowel, it would simply become the onset of the next syllable.
Yeah. Okay.
It's simply.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
Yeah, let's take care of these first.
Okay.
So we have to ask the question right now. Are we doing tone or not?
I thought that, yeah, right?
Yeah. We decided, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So...
And so then we had said that would probably take about 3 episodes to work out.
Yes, but so...
Nice example of a shifting tone on one syllable.
I was thinking that, so Miles, let's put a pin in that. That's why I wanted to do these first. I think these are going to be easier, but we might end up doing something like that with the nasals. I was thinking for this, glides like this, they bring things down, right? So, you know what I mean?
Well, when you glide, it is easier to glide downhill.
There you go. All right. So I was thinking that these would lead to one of two things. Either we have a low tone or we have a dipping tone. Like, it depends how we want to do tone in this thing, right? Like,
and didn't we already actually decide that we wanted...
Oh, dipping, falling, yeah.
Like, I swear we had wanted the tones. Did we specifically decide what tones we wanted?
That was the whole reason we had these notes.
I know, that's why I'm reading them again. No, we had not decided yet. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspelled Polskis. It's not that type. It's not that type of pole. It's that type of Polskis. Okay.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. Embarrassing that you didn't catch that typo.
I have more important things to do than to revise your typos.
Both of us know that isn't true.
Oh, man.
All right. So let's see. Yeah. Well, okay. So, okay. Well, this might be a question we can actually just run by. This might be a question we can run by. We can run by the patrons. So, there are a couple of ways to do register tone. Yes, we can do high, low, and that's it. We can also do high, low, and and contours. And so you could, and the contours are going to be a combination of high and low.
I will say really quickly,
yes,
as I interrupt you, because Chris agrees with me, like, didn't we decide on high and low as the two tones? We didn't type a note about it, but, like, I clearly remember last week being like, we're going to have high and low.
Yes, but you could still have contours
Sure.
with high and low. So that's what essentially I want to decide right now. So we got here. I'll write down the options here. So option 1, high and low, and that's it. Option 2 is high, low, and low, high. And they will emerge whenever they naturally emerge. Option 3 is high, low, and high, low. Low, high is disallowed. This happens a lot. And specifically this one. And I don't know why. But basically it's like low, high just surfaces as low. And then so what would happen is this one, low, high is disallowed. Low, high becomes low with upstep.
With upstep meaning it would carry over to the next syllable if there is one.
Yeah, so the floating high tone would scoot over to the next thing, and if there is a place where that tone-bearing unit, like where it could accept that tone, if there's a tone-bearing unit that could accept that tone, then it would surface. If there isn't, then what would happen is the next word would just move up, like its entire range would move up. It's like, I don't know if you played Beatles Rock Band, but sometimes, you're on the singing line, will be the notes go here, and then suddenly the whole thing will just shift up. It'll be like that. It was very specific, I guess. Beatles Rock Band was a ton of fun. Anyway, where the only contrast is. I mean, yeah, like whatever we do, trust me, it's going to surface in the morphology. But I mean, ultimately, this is a question of how do you want this mouse language to sound? It'll be like, is it going to be like, or is it going to be, so that type of thing, or that. So those are the three options.
I like. Okay, first of all, that was an excellent demonstration.
Thank you.
But I also like that Jonathan says, I feel like these being the mice, the tone should be high and higher. I love it. Third, I have a definite opinion on this.
Oh, you do.
I do.
Okay. Hang on. Before we do a little vote ski, let's go to Jesse for Jesse's opinion.
When you were doing the demonstrations, it just really felt like the first one was a mouse. That felt very mousy. It's high or low. There could be floating tones still with a straight up high low system, so like we could still play with that in terms of it affecting. But yeah, and Jake, yeah, maybe that's why I felt like 3 was not very mousy. That a falling tone does not. It feels like my squeaks go higher, which would mean we would really want option 2, but that just didn't feel very mousy.
Or a theoretical option 4 where we have low high as the only contour tone.
Right. I mean, that could be mousy. So I would be on board with that, but really option 1 felt very mousy to me. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Cupcake Parade.
So yeah, Jonathan, totally. Right? That first one, just it. Having recently had a mouse in the room, I feel that number 1 is very mousy.
I didn't even think about that. That's right. You have to hang on. We have to take a little moment here. We're probably going to do number 1. Please tell everybody about your friend, your new friend, your visitor.
So, we were sorry. So my friend and I were staying in a motel that, when we got there, felt like the pictures online really played it up to be much nicer than it was. And so, we were a little dubious about staying there in the first place, but, reservations already done. So, we stay, and it's like right in the mountains, right outside of if you are familiar with Kings Canyon and Sequoia, it's right outside the entrance to the Kings Canyon part of that whole national park area. So we're, in the mountains, kind of out, middle of nowhere. And overnight, like around 3 a.m, my friend Kay starts hearing noises, and she's like, "What in the world is that?" But tries to just let it go. And around 4, she finally was like, "I gotta find out what this noise is." And it sounded like we had this like paper bag with snacks for our trails and hikes and everything, pre-packed, so that way we could just throw them in a bag and go. And it was moving, and so she shined her flashlight in there from her phone, and a mouse jumped out. And so then she woke me up.
What time was it?
That was 4:11 in the morning, and I know that because then she woke me up, and then we were both wide awake because there was a mouse in the room, and it had eaten our snacks. And So we ended up just being like, forget sleep, and we watched the sunrise in a national park, and it was great. We had the trails to ourselves, climbed a mountain before it was even noon.
Did you invite your new friend with you?
No, we did not. We left the friend, but we left the snack bag for it.
Okay.
We were like, you can have the rest.
Okay. Well,
and so,
I mean, that at least is something.
But yeah, so having recently heard a mouse.
Sorry.
Having recently heard a mouse, I think option 1.
All right.
Is it?
You have more recent experience than I do with a dear little chef.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so.
But yeah, so that happened this past week. And then the new rat friend for your sister, that also happened this past week.
Yes.
This is, I mean, it really is fortuitous timing.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, these incidents occur in 3s, so,
It's not my turn again.
I mean,
I think it's your turn to have a mouse.
I would welcome a new little friend, but...
I mean, we did see another mouse in the park on our hike, but it was outside. So.
Were they just, touring, taking pictures?
No, it was actually running very quickly.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
About what time was this?
Oh,
time of day?
Goodness. I mean, it was still morning. I can't even... That day's a bit of a blur because we had... Again, before noon, we had already hiked over 8 miles, so I'm like... And that includes altitude and up and down.
A different mouse?
It was definitely a different mouse. It was far away. Okay.
Could have traveled. I mean, you did.
Not as fast.
Okay, so, hi-lo. All right. So let's, but the nice thing about this is that those twins are still going to be there somewhere, so we can just, hang on to them. Anyway, but...
I see why I'm in shadow. It's because you lean forward and I don't.
Well, it's because I've got to get the mouse. See...
The mouse, for the mouse language. See if I lean forward too. I think it's going to be better. Yeah.
So the issue here is that the desk I have is a 90-degree angle here, and so the mouse is all the way over there, and incidentally, terrible strain on the shoulder. I'm wondering if I could just go leftsies for this episode.
I don't think the mouse is built for that.
You don't think so?
And Jake, you are...
Whoa!
Yeah. I think so.
I got this.
Jake, you are absolutely right. This will only be my language if we lose the adjective so I can pronounce it.
Well, but it's very similar to Miniche, which you can pronounce very well.
I have my days.
Ginty.
Which means child.
Very, very good. High five, partner. All right. Okay, so hi-lo, that's it. So no, look,
I told you it wouldn't work.
Take one for the team here. Okay, so with these guys, first question, showing up as E or is it showing up as that?
Okay, we chose not to have any long vowels with the diphthongs, right? We didn't preserve any of them?
We didn't preserve any long vowels, so right. So
I don't feel like we should preserve long vowels here.
Yeah, well, you know what, let's go ahead. I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to go ahead here. Add header row below. Add column after, add column after.
The middle for all the stages.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so just so that we make sure that we get it right. Okay, this is going to be a really fun orthography. Insanely complicated now by how many codas there are, thank you very much, with 4 codas. Can you imagine? Each character could have just had like 4 little coda drops on there. Like now I don't know what how many are there?
You know what? We haven't decided what kind of writing system we're going to have, so why worry about the codas right now?
Wait,
we may go...
We haven't.
Alphabet-y.
I had ideas.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good God.
Bib asked a good question that off the top of my head, I have no idea. How cross-linguistically common is it for stress and tone to co-occur in the same language?
Uncommon, but not impossible. If you go through the comments, Bibbleridy, and I forget who was talking about it. I think it was Logan was talking about Saramaccan, which is a Creole, a very important one because, of course, among the many things said about Creoles is that they don't have tone at all. Which of course was not true. It was more like the 5 Creoles that I looked at that are all based on English. None of them have tone, so I guess Creoles don't have tone. Anyway, but let's see. I mean, I guess the question is, do we want to treat? Yes, and this is why. Okay, so functionally these are going to be the same.
Right, so the EI is going to become E. Yeah.
Wait,
you don't need that. You just need.
No, I just need. Okay.
You just need to type EI and then.
Yeah. Okay, so functionally these are going to be the same, except for this one is not going to be the same. Because this isn't going to become we.
No,
we.
no.
I think it has to become we. We? What do you think? We becoming E?
Just becoming E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
and then OI is going to become, well, that would be way if we did it that way, but either way, OI becomes way.
Why?
Because it would become OI next, right?
We. Well, okay, so I guess...
Or do we want to have it be
So here's the
E
thing.
too?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here we didn't have it vocalize. Mm-hmm. And that's why this became E instead of we, which is what this becomes.
Right.
Do we want to say the same thing for oi, not vocalizing? The ya not vocalizing?
Yeah. Let's do E for that.
Okay.
And then AI will become A.
Oh wait, what's this going to become?
That one's just going to become E, a Y, right?
This one's going to become a Y too? All right. Dang, it's a party now. All right.
Right? Isn't that what...
We. Okay. I know that there were some people last week who were in favor of having an but this is good. Okay. Now the crucial distinction here is so do we want to add a fourth column or just do a third column?
By the way, one of the reasons I went for that instead of thinking about an U is that it raises the front vowel to the high level, so why wouldn't it raise the back vowel as well?
Good. Perfectly sound reasoning there. Thank you for that.
And hi, Minnie.
So here, the other thing is that, all these approximants are dragging tone down, so this is where we're going to have low tone emerge. Do we want to have it at the second stage or just throw it in the third stage and say somewhere in there it's going to happen? The approximate's gone by the second stage, which is
then I think we need it in the second stage. We need the tone.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh.
This is my...
You didn't make that possible?
I made that possible. So here's the thing. When it comes to the romanization, it's going to be fine because we're only going to have two tones, right? So we're going to mark the high one and not mark the low one. So we'll deal with this. But goodness gracious. Oh.
Wow.
Oh. And so... Be cool.
Just copy those other cells.
I could. But I choose not.
Good for you. And can we put like a stronger border on the end of that D column so that way when we start the next three over?
Yeah, we're gonna take care of that.
And then we'll need to scroll up when we start the W's.
Thank you for the reminder.
And then I can be looking at the chart above to remind you what we do on my screen. Cool. Anime fan, we may later on do, because if you recall, that's how we got the name Tpachla was from a poll. And so, later on, we may do another poll like that to determine what the name will be. Ngala, we didn't because it was like, everybody was like, we just need the name. we needed we had just decided early on as a community that would be the language name. So it really depends. We'll see how it goes, but that won't be for a while because we obviously need, words and syllables and stuff.
Also, since Johanna Nichols was mentioned, I want to be sure that I mention here. Johanna Nichols is amazing. Very, very nice. I sat in on one of her classes. It was a class that was co-taught with Richard Rhodes.
With who?
Richard Rhodes, poor guy. So this guy, I can't even remember if I told you about this, but this guy. So they co-taught the class, so that they were each teaching each session, but like Richard Rhodes could not stay awake when he was not teaching. And I felt really bad about this because he was sitting up at the front, so like Johanna Nichols is lecturing, and he's there kind of like on a stool.
Yeah, that would be really bad at the front of the room.
And then realizes it and is like wakes up and makes it look like he's earnestly paying attention, and then poor guy.
Oh man.
Bright room, warm room, late afternoon. Okay, so
Deadly combos.
yeah, so we can do the same thing with this one. IW is the equivalent of IU, and so U is U becoming E too?
Yeah.
Let's lean into the Greek. Oops, wrong one.
With the low tone, of course.
Thank you. All right.
And then same with the EW.
Same with EW. Is that what happened up here? It is. It is. Splendid. Splendid. This is going to become long
E.
Oh. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
We're going to have so many E.
Yes, we are. This is really a party. I love these Swedish mice.
Oh, the next one's just going to become a U.
Yes.
And you need to scroll up.
Gosh darn it.
I told you I was going to be looking at this chart. Here, you can look on my screen. I got that chart.
Yeah, this becomes... well, that's really handy. Well, thank you.
So that's just going to become... Yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
Look at how handy that is. You should stick around. All right.
Thanks. That's going to become AU.
Yeah.
Which will become O.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so then that's all we need that chart for.
Okay, and so this, we know that we're going to get low tone. The question is, what should the effect of that rhotic be? R. Here. Or. And this should, of course, be here.
Doesn't R in many languages lower the height of the vowel before it? Or am I just misremembering that?
No, that sounds about right.
So like IR may become
Ear
may become air.
Well, yeah, what exactly is it going to become? Is it going to become air, or is it going to become ea? Like, is it going to become an off glide like the way it does in British? Yeah.
That's a good question. I like that now everybody's like, the language name needs to have tons of E in its only vowel. So it's just, all over the place.
Not a high tone. Low tone.
As a side note, that vowel, the E vowel, it's in German in case you didn't know that out there. And that was the vowel that really made people realize I was not a German speaker when I lived in Germany. And so I took, while living in Germany, I did what all college students should do, and I took Mandarin Chinese. And while in that class, the students were like, my fellow students who were all native German students, because apparently not every international student decides to take another language. And so they took me out for dinner one night and spent like the entire evening just practicing with me on how to say that vowel so I could get it right. It was very handy. It was lovely. And there were only like 10 of us, so it was a great group dinner. But yeah, people probably thought we were a little crazy because we just kept like E over and over again, just until they were like, you got it.
Yeah.
The German R took much longer to master, but they wanted that vowel to be mastered because it's also in Mandarin Chinese, and I was struggling in both languages.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh? You were struggling in German? You?
Yeah.
Huh.
My pronunciation. How is
Really?
this a surprise?
But you're good at it now, right?
I'm much better. I would leave it to, I believe anyone who is German would beg to differ that I'm good at it. But I feel like they'd be like, yeah, you try, and that's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So then, let's see. What's something Germany that we can say? Ich höre das Pferd. Wait, no. What is it? Der, die, or das? What is Pferd?
Oh, yeah. No,
Horse,
I got that you meant horse. I think though it's der.
You think it's der?
Which
and
would mean
Dane. Yeah. So ich höre den Pferd. Sorry, let me get that. Ich höre den Pferd. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's das. Thank you,
Oh,
Josh.
I got it right. I
totally thought it was masculine. So.
Ich höre das Pferd. Okay, your turn.
Ich höre das Pferd.
All right. Okay, which of us sounds more German, or do we sound equally non-German? German speakers.
As we just wait and stare at the comments.
Yeah.
And as I'm still thinking about what should happen with these R codas.
Mm-hmm. So the rhotic does become an L, yes, but it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily do that in coda position. Yeah, you equally sound non-German. That's right. So like the R's are eventually going to become L's, but there's two ways that we can go about this. One, that can happen later, and so it will be after these coda R's are already gone, or it can happen early, and then we are dealing with coda L's. Personally, I thought it would be more interesting for the coda R's to already have taken effect before the R's become L's. Because,
I agree.
Yeah, there we go. Because, then it's just like a real, like, dead thing that's just surviving into the future. Anyway, so, what do you mean?
Nikai,
like,
I'm ready to hear you out.
But, like, also, like, why would they produce anything other than a low tone? I'm not following you on R leading to a high tone. I don't think that would happen. Personally.
But I'm still excited to find out what you want to say about it. I am leaning. Here's where I'm leaning.
Okay.
Well, you're just leaning to make me more in shadow than I already am.
Yeah.
I
was leaning to make it look like you were leaning because you're not leaning. Anyway, go ahead.
I am leaning. I'm leaning on my hand on the desk.
Okay, fair enough. You win this round.
I think it would be interesting for those coda R's to disappear before they become L's.
Yeah.
Because then later, as we attach affixes.
Thank you.
Which we're going to be doing a lot of.
Yep.
They could reappear as L's.
Yes, they can.
And so, but obviously only in certain environments, because it would have to be a vowel initial affix for that to happen. And so I think that could be a really, really interesting thing.
That is an interesting statement. So it's like, it's one thing to say, I think we had a mouse in my house. Another thing to say, I think we had a mouse in my house when I lived in Boston. It's like, you had another roommate, is what you mean. Another friend.
And also in Boston, it may have actually been a rat. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Memer's suggestion there. Memer, of course, being Graham. Uh, oh,
Minnie.
Tell us more. Can't just
burger.
Can't just drop that. I was eating a burger. Like what type? Anyway, so let's try.
Oh, if Ragdoll is here, by the way, during my trip, I had this amazing veggie burger. And you could literally see the burger, like the veggies. Oh my goodness, it was so good.
Texas Whopper from Burger King. Interesting choice.
That is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I've never, and I say that never having had a Texas Whopper from Burger King. I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I.
Besides a Whopper that must be really big?
Probably also has a license to carry a firearm. Just kidding. Of course it doesn't have a license. It just has the firearm.
In other words, hot sauce?
Flexivized. Huh.
Bacon and jalapenos. That is Texas. A little barbecue sauce on that too. But not sweet barbecue sauce. Vinegary.
See, my favorite is sweet barbecue sauce.
That's because you're from California.
We're agreed that sweet barbecue sauce is the best. Given that sweet barbecue sauce comes from
Kansas City.
That's right.
And so yes, we
right.
can agree on that.
All right. Very good. Anyway, so I was just throwing this down. What do you think?
Because it lowers the vowel.
Yeah. So
which I agree.
Yeah.
And then I like that.
Okay, so on your screen, where's that other chart? What happens to a, it becomes a, which becomes a, and then what happens to oa? Becomes o.
Yeah. So are we going to need 5 stages, or are we just going to jump straight to the end?
Very interesting question. Because that is an interesting question. These could be second stage. So it's like we started off with oa and ea over here, and they've already become aw and a at this stage. Now we're at this stage, and we have these re-emerging. Is the sound change still active, or do you want to take this opportunity to do something different with these?
Different?
Okay, what are we going to do?
Say that lots. I don't know. What are you feeling? She said, ooh. Oh, and Grandma's saying that too. Yeah, they could do different things. Anime fan. That is an interesting use of barbecue sauce. But I totally see how it works. I approve.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. Okay, let me think here. Okay, we have a word. The word is cure. Cure becomes kia. I'm sorry, cure becomes kia. Becomes kia. 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 Kia.
Huh. I can see.
Ya and wo. Ya and wa.
I can see how that would happen.
All right, let's do it. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good for the approximates.
You know what that means?
Hmm.
We finished an accomplishment.
We did, right at 3 p.m.
Kopiko time.
I think you're right.
Yes.
And I do have an original for you. And a spicy one for me.
Does that make it a Texas Kopiko?
Texas style Kopiko. That was
We're gonna cheers? You're just gonna open yours and like eat it.
You're right, good point. Sorry. My bad. Kopiko. Cheers.
I had to make a ding sound.
There's a joke on the pool episode of The Simpsons that often gets cut due to length, but they are very hot and are looking for, they're looking for anything to cool them down, and then the ice cream man comes along, and he was ringing the ice cream, and then he starts shouting, ice cream, we are all out of ice cream. It's true, Anyway, so it says they're out of ice cream, and then after that, this is the joke that gets cut. You hear more ice cream man bells. The guy comes along, and he says, chili, get your Texas-style boiling hot chili, along with ginger ale. Texas-style boiling hot ginger ale.
Thanks.
Oh.
And Josh, you're right. Peterson is now Pityasin.
Flavor of victory. Okay. Pityasin. It's mousy. It's cute. I like it. Cool. Okay. So what do you want to do next? Do you want to tackle nasals? Or do you want to do stops and fricatives?
That is a wonderful question. You know what? Let's do stops and fricatives first.
Yeah, that should be easy. In fact, fricatives should be the easiest. So let's do that. So I'm just going to take this, put it here, and then I'm going to get rid of this because we don't need it. Because the only fricatives that we have are F and S. And you know what? We don't even need to necessarily go that far. Because I'm thinking this is going to be pretty simple, isn't it?
Since they're both voiceless, would there be a difference? I guess one could be different.
Well, here's the important question. Do we want to retain any codas in the modern language?
No.
That's big. That's big. All right. Let's get to it. So first thing, well, there can be another stage, essentially. Because I think this is going to be that stage. But we're going to end up with low tone.
So Vivid asked, I'm so used to thinking about vowel loss in terms of stressed versus unstressed syllables. How does it usually happen in tone languages?
Vowel loss?
Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, vowel loss. Maybe coda loss.
Vowel loss.
Oh, wait. You could lose vowels, though. In terms of, like, an unstressed syllable, like, the vowel reduces so much that it, like, you just literally essentially lose the syllable, which is kind of what we did with some of Topaz sound changes.
Oh.
So. Yeah.
Not uh-oh. Oh.
Yes. And Latorius, you're right. Hashtag kill the coda.
So we've been kind of simplifying this and saying that there's 3 stages. But obviously what's happening here is that F is going to H first, and then it's getting lost, which is producing the tone. So this stage right here occurs before this stage here. That could be a very early one. Do we want... I don't think an F is going to really affect vowel quality, yeah.
Mm-mm.
No. So that's good.
I actually don't think any of our consonants...
Or maybe the palatals, but...
Palatals could... so I'm sorry, by any of our oral consonants, so the stops and fricatives specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they're going to affect vowel quality.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, palatals could. I think nasals definitely, we're going to have some wiggle room there with what we're going to do.
Now, do we want to do anything different with S, or is it just going to be the same?
I don't think S would go to an H. I think it's going to do something different.
I mean, S often does go to H. This is what happened in Hawaiian.
Okay.
But the question is if it's going to do something different, what? I'm not...
And sorry, Nikai, yes, that was intentional for UF to become YH, because essentially what two things happened there. The F went to H, but remember that U went to E somewhere kind of early enough on that
yeah.
So that kind of merges two different sound changes in one box.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with S just going to H and essentially having the same thing happen.
Yeah.
Just
trying to think what else could happen, but I think that's...
I think we may, if we allow S initial consonant clusters, like ST or, something like that, that S could be preserved in more places than would otherwise, because it could glom onto the next syllable.
Yeah.
But that's only if we allow that kind of consonant cluster, and not all languages do.
Yeah, I hadn't imagined consonant clusters at the outset unless there was going to be vowel loss. Getting back to Bibleridian's comment.
Right.
You have some vowel loss at the beginnings of words and, produce some consonant clusters maybe, but... yeah, the only other thing I could see is this thing leading to, I don't know, if one was going to lead to compensatory lengthening and the other wasn't, but...
If it led to compensatory lengthening,
then
we would potentially get some different sounds coming out. For instance, ES may come out as E with a low tone instead of A with a low tone.
And OS would come out as OO.
Yeah.
So, that would be interesting. I just don't know if it's justified or, if it makes sense at all,
Right. Juniper, that's a good point. Juniper says, say ski and tell me that doesn't sound like a mouse.
Mouse ski.
Ski. It would be mouse ski. So, Kobe, so compensatory lengthening, compensatory really anything means that essentially when you lose one sound, something happens to the sound that's left behind to like show that there used to be a sound there. So it's like compensating for the fact that, well, we lost this sound, but here, like, this other sound change is going to make up for it to show that there was something there. And it's not that it's required. Sometimes you just lose sounds altogether and it just does nothing to the rest. But you will see that kind of change happen quite frequently in languages.
But Kobe's question was regarding its pronunciation. Apparently, he says compensatory.
Oh, sorry. I totally answered the wrong question, but there you have it.
It's a useful answer, though. But it sounds very British, very. Yeah. Is it Wooster? Is it Bertie Wooster that I'm thinking of? Compensatory. No, I don't know.
Josh is saying, what if S becomes TS? But I don't think... Did we have... Yeah, we did have it.
We do have TS.
Let me scroll up to remind myself. Yes, we do.
I was thinking the exact opposite. Miles is saying, what if the S is just lost, but the F undergoes compensatory lengthening? I was thinking the exact opposite.
Because S is a stronger
and so it
influence.
And so it sticks around longer. Or the F just drops straight off the map. Mika. Yeah, Kobe's saying the same thing, that he was thinking the other way around.
Because, it's the compensatory. Did I say it right?
Compensatory?
There we go. Shift. I also can't do a British accent, in case anyone's wondering. So it's not just that my German pronunciation is off. It's just that I can't do accents in general.
Oh, now I want to hear you do nothing but. Come on.
That would just... It would not only embarrass myself, but it would.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be demeaning to all of our British-speaking friends.
I think that they totally want to hear you do it.
So let's talk about this S.
Kobe, that wasn't a Cockney accent. That was Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. With his legendarily bad Cockney accent.
Whew, I got a sugar rush.
From that little Kobe
Yeah. Like, whew, I'm just going to be smiling here. Oh, Jake, you really don't. You really don't. Oh, compensatory. Okay, there we go. I feel like...
Oh, it's a jolly old day with Mary. Just terrible. Why did they have him do that? They could have just said he's an American working as a chimney sweep.
Oh my word, there's a movie with Piper Perabo in it, and they decided that she needed to be British. She does not do a good accent, though, and it's like, but the movie, the plot line has nothing to do with her being British, therefore she could have been an American the entire time, except no, it was, let's make this a British accent, and...
Wow.
It was really sad. The rest of the movie, by the way, is really good. I wish I could remember its title. It'll come to me in like 3 hours.
Man.
My brain is working on a time delay.
Yeah, I know, but that's Coyote Ugly, right?
No, she does not have an accent. She's American in that one. She's from New Jersey.
No, what I'm saying, Piper Perabo.
Yes, yeah.
That's the second movie I've ever heard of her being in.
And in that movie, of course, she's supposed to be singing, but LeAnn Rimes is totally singing.
Oh. What movie is this again?
Well, that was Coyote Ugly. LeAnn Rimes is the singing voice.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that? Is this what Piper was named after? Was Piper named after Piper Perabo?
No. I'm gonna find out what that movie was, because it was a really good movie. And I rather enjoyed it. I was just like, why? Oh, she was in Penny Dreadful, City of Angels.
Oh,
as Linda Craft.
That's the successor series. I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Okay, but go on. I'm going to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of stuck on this, which is whether to do
compensatory. Imagine Me and You. That's the movie.
No. Oh. Compensatory.
She's also in both Cheaper by the Dozens.
Okay.
In Dark Horse, the plot of the movie is that on her wedding day, she falls in love with a woman who was at her wedding delivering flowers. And so that's... And then I'm not going to tell you what happens from there. You got to watch it.
Oh, man, and this is Piper Perabo. Why haven't I seen this? Okay, so... anyway, we're getting stuck on whether we want to do the compensatory lengthening or not.
I say yes.
Okay, good enough for me. Easy. I wish this took less time. No, wait. No. No. Leave that one. Okay. Yes.
You're going to go back and add... Oh, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, I am. All right. And so then this becomes... Let's just do this for right now, because I believe that... Right? No. No.
Oh, sorry. I can have that chart pulled up for you. So long O becomes U, correct. Long A becomes A, wonderful. Long U, of course.
Cool.
And long E, yes.
Okay.
That is all correct.
All right. Good. Okay, so that's done. So we have our approximants. We have our fricatives. I think we should go to stops next.
Also, it's really funny anytime Colin Farrell tries to do an American accent. Because someone else is talking about notoriously bad American accents.
If you've never seen Leverage, I live for that woman's American accents. They're just...
Have you seen Colin Farrell trying to play Jesse James?
Really?
In American Outlaws?
Who thought that was a good idea?
Thank you.
What movie was this?
American Outlaws. I just said the title.
Yeah, no, I thought you were specifying Jesse James, the American Outlaw.
No, it's called American Outlaws. Colin Farrell plays Jesse James.
I get the sense that you see a lot of these movies that gross like $500,000 at the box office.
Probably.
They're like...
It's a fun movie to watch, by the way.
Movies designed, I think, essentially to fill in holes in actors' contracts.
And then I see them. No need to be rude.
No, you're right. There is absolutely none. I say that we do...
Hey, Magpie, don't feel bad. You've heard my accent. It's all over the place.
This is my thought, that probably these are gonna... What do you think?
Oh. Miles has a good question, but let's... Okay, because you want the palatals on a different series. I get it. Miles says, when would the W and J glide partition occur? Would that be... So, like, thinking... In terms of... Because we end up with way and ya and things like that. And so we haven't decided yet.
Yeah, we didn't decide
whether it's going to be that V and J in all situations. So that is something that we still need to consider, Miles. But thank you for reminding us.
Oh. No, that was the correct poll.
Oh, yes, it was. So you should not be embarrassed.
Dang. Well, I should be embarrassed that I changed it. There was always going to be a way for me to be embarrassed. Oh no! Leverage. The next season is already out. and I have seen 3 episodes, and it is delightful.
Okay. So, yeah, Evan, we're getting rid of all codas. We're figuring out what they do to the vowels in front of them.
Yeah. So that for that reason, I think glide fortition isn't going to play a big role here.
Right, 'cause they essentially disappear, except for in the R column.
Yeah. So so we can still set that question aside for the time being.
Okay. And we're essentially saying what happens to the diphthongs happens everywhere regardless of coda. Is that what we're saying? Or would it feed into now the monophthong chain of events?
What?
So if you scroll,
Which way?
we need to go up.
More?
Yeah. The diphthong chart.
Yeah.
In terms of this, does it matter what the coda is, or is this like this change happens no matter what?
Oh, I had a thought on that, and I this is something that I implicitly assumed and didn't vocalize, which is not a good thing. I should have said that. I was thinking that this is our max syllable at this stage. What do you think?
So it's either okay. So you're
Yeah.
either a consonant with a diphthong, or your consonant vowel, of course, monophthong, or consonant monophthong coda. So you cannot have a coda and a diphthong.
Yes.
I like it.
All right. Cool.
That's nice.
Teamwork.
Do we want to add tone on this one? Leave that there so we remember that was our maximum syllable.
Good idea.
Don't delete.
So, max syllable. Here, no, I'm gonna put it up here. So no. Whatever your question was, no.
No, because onsets have not been considered yet. So this does nothing to tone because we're not losing anything. They're just shifting.
Yeah.
And so we're going to worry about that later in terms of syllable structure.
And by the way, I know that people are seeing a lot of low tones here because what's probably going to happen is everything that doesn't have a low tone is just going to get a high tone thrown on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So.
And Beatrice, no, initial consonants would not be required. That's just like it could be consonant vowel. It could just be vowel. But it can't have a coda and a diphthong in the same syllable.
Good question, Minnie. A lot of practice.
Yes. Or just let it go away.
But
put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
The thing is, like, then this thing is behind.
Oh, yeah.
All right. No, Evan. No. Sorry, you missed that.
We decided to go a different route with those.
Yeah, it's something to do with the codas, yes. Yeah. Okay, so did you? I thought that maybe the stops would pattern together like this. Do you agree?
I'm revisiting my stop chart up above.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing that I would have even thought was that the C would pattern with the P, T, and K, but like I also completely respect having palatals do something different.
I at least want to see.
Sure. Let's explore.
Now, my idea with this is that it could actually lead to this. Like this, that sa would eventually just become sa and would lead to this.
Because in our notes, we have a note. Okay, so, but sa may go to theta.
Okay, so then the question is when? Because if you're losing a theta in coda position, that's going to lead to low tone. If you're losing a tsa in coda position, that's probably going to lead to high tone.
Right. So when do we want that shift?
I don't know. Mercy, mercy me.
Because the note that I'm looking at only affects the S adjective. So S is not affected by this, but the TS would go to theta and theta adjective. Right.
Well, one way to look at it is this. We had S doing a thing here that TS wouldn't do. S is ultimately going to become TS, right?
Right.
Is that what
S adjective may go to TS adjective. Okay. So we're going to still have a regular S. We're only going to have so here's...
a TS adjective. Yes. Right. Right. Got it.
So we're still going to have a TS adjective. It's just not going to be from the initial TS adjective.
Yeah, and what we're not going to have is a TS. Interesting.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. I think we should treat it... I think we should just have a pattern with these.
Oh, have the TS pattern with the PTK?
Yeah. I don't know.
An anime fan, people say cheese because that high front vowel stretches your lips out into a smile shape, and the ch and the S do nothing to affect your lip shape. Therefore, you can hold that out, and it's just a... I mean, theoretically, you could just say E.
Yeah, or you could say any number of words. Tree, key, me, Lee.
Tree affects my mouth.
Jesse.
Well, tree affects because I do the rounding for the R, so that affects it.
But you take the picture at the end of the word, not the beginning.
That's true.
Yeah. If you're being kind, anyway. Now, if you want to...
You would not be.
If you want to get really weird pictures, say, everybody say full. Full. That's a weird one.
Yeah, or choose.
Well, that's not so bad because then it's like ooh. But I mean, look at the shape for full.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Really weird. Yep. Okay. TS.
I don't know. All I can think about right now is Minnie's burger, and I'm like, that sounds really good.
Yeah. Have you eaten any food today?
Oh, I think I had a banana earlier. Is that good?
Think?
I had a Copico, so I'm good. It's been a morning.
Brother. Okay. Mats.
Yeah. What is it? So that would... I agree that if we retain the affricate during the vowel shift incidence, it would pattern with a T.
Okay. I say let's do that then. Okay, we'll just do P here for example. We want to say that there's a glottal stop. Glottal stop stage.
Ooh.
I don't know if this was the easiest way to do this.
I don't think it was.
It wasn't. This was no. It's just silly. Whatever. I'm doing it live. There we go. And then that just leaves E and E.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and look how much better those Y's look.
Yep.
Gosh.
How did I miss that
That's a really good question.
one? Which is the word for marmoset? Do you think marmoset? Yeah, marmoset. Wizititi. Oh my goodness. Wizititi. That is the cutest word for an animal.
Where are you seeing this?
Evan, in French they say wizititi, which is the word for marmoset.
Oh, I did not see that.
Wizititi. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How do they do that? How do they do that? That's the cutest little word I've ever heard in my life.
Did you see Josh? That's amazing. Okay. What's going to happen to the C then? If it's not going to glottal stop?
Alright, let's... Hold on.
You don't need to... Oh, okay, you can do that. Sure.
The question is, did we also want to affect any kind of vowel raising when this was in coda position? So, H, H, H. Is this going to become H? Is it going to become H? Or do we just want to treat it like a consonant?
Let's do some vowel raising.
No.
Ooh, but the O should be an oo instead of E. So we're going to get a U where
Oik.
the O was.
Oik, oik. Well, this is going to be this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oik, oik, oik. What do you think?
It would be... Would you want ot becoming ut or oot?
Which, 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 I think so. I think it's going to become which.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm happy with that.
Okay, cool. All right, and last, and definitely least, the nasals. Okay. Are any of the nasals going to pattern together? Yes, it is, Minnie. Yes, it is.
That is a good question. So I'm like, because we already have precedence that the palatal does something different. So therefore
Yeah.
the enye should do something different than the others. We have precedence that the other three areas do something different. However, I know in a lot of languages, or at least some anyway, the ingma does something different than the n.
Let's see if we can fit. Let's see if we can fit some columns. One. Yeah, we can fit. We can fit. That was my only concern. It was gonna fit. It fits.
Of course.
Do your thing. Okay.
That doesn't fit.
Nah, done. But we know what it's supposed to be. Here we go. M, N.
In Miles, yeah, the M and N could theoretically go together, with the enye and ingma being two separate. And obviously you were not prepared for that bold character in your font.
Oh, this one is this is not mine. That's
Yeah,
it is. What the? Oh, because it's bold.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes,
said.
because it's bold. Right. Got it.
So Jake, yeah, that is my thought too. The ingma, I think, in a lot of cases, will lower vowels.
Really?
That was my thought.
That was not mine.
Interesting. Okay.
It raises them in English.
The angma?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely, it does, and I have
For
the
many
statistical
speakers-
data to prove it.
For many speakers, it lowers it.
No.
I'm just gonna stare at you.
Do you want me to pull up my thesis? Because I can do it easily.
It doesn't mean I'll believe your thesis just because you pull it up.
You want me to pull up the data? I'll get the data. I've got the recordings. You can measure them on trot.
How to get under David's skin 101.
So, I mean, look at this word. Theoretically. And how is it pronounced? How is it pronounced? Does it somehow go lower than that?
I'm laughing too hard. Okay. That's good. That's fine.
Okay. That's good and fine.
For some speakers.
All right. Now I want you to compare the vowel in talk.
So the reason I would say that for some languages it can slightly lower it is because you're going back with your tongue and to hit your velum, and that would be a reason for the vowel to follow it.
What do you think about the vowel in talk versus the vowel in tong?
You have no L trace at all in talk?
Nobody does.
What's happening?
Are we there?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I think we are.
Okay.
Anyway. Aren't the high vowels the least likely ones to be retained as nasals? Maybe.
Anyway, I'm just gonna...
Tongue.
Just gonna...
Tong? You say tong?
Not twang. Not some kind of
Tong.
crazy diphthong. It's tong.
Tong.
Feel that vowel. Is that the same vowel as talk?
Talk. Tong.
No, it's higher. Like, listen to it. You're doing it.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Kobe says we dropped out for a sec, but we're back. So yeah, everything. Thank you, Logan. I do totally have that L trace.
You find tong lower than talk? Okay, but
Talk.
however you find it, you better measure it.
Anyway, okay, so the
yeah.
angma's gonna raise some vowels. Is that what you want?
So, there are a number of things that we could do. All right? So, for example, it could lead to vowel nasalization, and as we see in French, vowel nasalization does lead to vowel lowering. This is why it's le petit prince as opposed to le petit prince. You can have just, whatever. Like, you could have an actual nasal E, but you don't have to. So it could be the case that with all of these things, it's lowering them if we were going to have a nasalization stage. I don't think that we should, because I want these nasals to be there when they... Well, now I'm thinking about it.
So I'm also thinking about how Bibluridian says orc and awk identically, and that is really fun.
Awk the bird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do too.
You say orc and awk?
Yeah, they both awk. The ox are attacking. No.
Yeah, you're a liar. Cool. Okay, so you stop mid-thought there.
Ooh, hang on. Somebody just picked up some Lebanese food. Now it's getting good.
So actual nasals raise vowels is what Nakai is saying, but when vowels are nasalized, they lower.
Yeah, that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, shoot, now that I'm looking at this might have to undergo a nasalization stage. And if it does that, they're all going to do the same thing.
They're all going to lower?
Yeah, it's going to be...
Which means it doesn't matter.
It's going to be like o, a.
And that's not what you wanted.
No, it's not what I was hoping for. Not what I was hoping for. I mean, it's fine. It's easy. We've done a lot of work with everything else. This one could be easy.
The nasals are going to be the easy one?
The nasals could be the easy one. I don't know. What do you think?
Wow.
Yeah.
That feels radical.
It's unexpected. Tongues are going to be wagging on our common links.
I like it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay. Delete. And we're going to get this back. Welcome back, Cotter. Our very young audience is surely going to get that.
Yeah.
All right. And so this will become...
With the nasal still there?
Is switch. And then... Okay.
What's going to happen to tone? Would it be high because it would essentially be reading as no coda at that point?
Yeah, like if we were going to have a mid-tone, I would do it for these. I'd say it has very little effect then. And so because of that, yeah, I think the result is going to be high.
Yeah.
Because they're just defaulting to high.
And Josh, you had said so we don't want a low E. We do have that resulting from some other sound changes. So I mean it will be there in the language. It's just this particular set of sounds.
Which sound are we not going to have?
It was Josh's comment. Oh, that was a nasalized. I didn't see on my little. Oh. So no, we're not going to have a nasalized E sound. Kobe says, will the inye not raise to go with, the palatal precedence that we have? And we're going to say its nasalization trumps its palatal status.
Yeah. It's just going to disappear before... it's going to become nasalization before raising happens, before palatals. Is essentially the argument that this data is making. Also interesting, you'll note that this also beats the U to U sound change. And so, but funny enough, the U still doesn't survive because it becomes O. That's funny.
As a side note, Minnie, I do that all the time because there are times that I change pages on my document in Pages thinking that David should move to, and it doesn't.
Yep.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty great. I mean, that kind of does it.
Oh, shoot. And we need to, like, start talking about a poll.
Yeah, we need to think about it.
It's that time of the episode. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and Graham, you're absolutely right. We're going to have, depending on the form, we could definitely have some O-E alternations, depending on what comes after that syllable. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So, incidentally, by the way, when you see things like that, it's like, well, then what we do is when we get to the grammar, we make sure that happens,
Right.
So...
Great. We wrapped that up a little too nicely. To think about, like, what people are going to vote about.
Okay, so...
And yeah, Miles, we didn't have any central vowels to kill, so now we're just killing codas and oohs. In as many places as possible.
We can do this.
We actually could and turn it into a Polski with 2 L's.
Yeah. And Polskis with 2 L's get purple.
And you can scroll up so they can see that little comment.
Okay, so... New Polski. Alright, and so I think 2 options would be it happens everywhere. So 1 happens everywhere. 2 as W goes to V before U, and Ya goes to Ja.
Oops. Ah.
Thank you. Before E.
I'm doing the sounds for your typing.
Yeah. And then this one would be before
any vowel? Are you? Okay. Listen, I love what you're going for here, but that's way too many slashes in one line for option 3. And same for the OU. It's just, there were way too many slashes.
I'm sorry you liked that. That was just a joke.
Well,
that was me playing a joke on you.
Better. Otherwise, it's like slash, comma, slash, comma, slash. I mean, it was just way too many.
I'll at least do this.
Okay, well, you know what? Computer programmers got it. It was fine. The option, this or this.
Here, in fact, you know what? I'm going to do you this favor.
And thank you, Applesauce Project.
Look at how good I am to you.
And yeah, Juniper commas could have worked as well.
In fact, let's just make that a semicolon. Let's just do that.
All this is
there.
Easier for me to read.
Are you happy?
I am so much happier than I was 30 seconds ago.
Okay.
Jake also has a really good point. Just put plus front or plus back. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because the only front vowels we have are E or I.
Yeah, is that good?
And then the only back vowels, because we do have that which we kept as these central.
So this will be the poll, but then the open question for next time, when. So in other words, this is going to be important for, like, for example, we often have things like this becoming this, and so if option 3 wins, the question is,
when does that sound change occur?
Yeah. So that's one example, and then another one is yes, that one.
Yeah, the like EA becoming.
Yes. Okay. So.
Wait, did you also want to include the? No, because that's after.
I'm going to just drop a CF in there.
Yeah.
Then we'll know that there's more instances.
But there's actually... No. If option 1 wins...
Yes.
If option 1 wins, we have to decide when it happens, when the R changes, because the R changes it to ya and wa. Oh, and so we do need to figure, like, that would be another, like, open question. Like,
oh, I'm going to call that a closed question, and I'll tell you why. If option 1 wins, it happens before the and then EG, because this way we'll actually have the was and the yas in there. We'll have them both.
Okay, so we could have a ya syllable. Its protoform would definitely not be ya.
Exactly. And I think that's cool.
That is cool.
All right.
I like that.
Right on. Dang, we even finished that poll up a little early.
Okay, so here's another question to put on the table.
Yes.
And I think you had mentioned something. Are we going to allow consonant clusters at all in the onsets? Because are we going to allow what was a coda consonant to glom on as part of an onset of the next syllable in certain situations, thus retaining the coda, but only as part of a consonant cluster?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
That would be... So in other words... Jesse would be suggesting that we could end up with syllabification like this. So let's say we had masta, that the modern form would be masta, but you would actually syllabify it like that, which would be wow. That's bold.
I was just asking. It would also come up in situations where, say, you have M-A-K-J-A. Would it become makya, or would it become makya?
That's a better one.
Thank you.
But, so we're going to get rid of that. The thing is, no. Because that's already syllabified like this.
Let's say the protoform is M-A-K-I-R.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and what's it going to do as it becomes modern form?
Sorry.
So we're allowing consonant clusters, but only if it's with an approximant.
I mean, that's just what it would become. Like, why would it change all of a sudden?
I'm just asking, are we allowing?
It's not a question of allowing. Like, why would it change all of a sudden?
I'm just asking.
Like, what you're suggesting is that the second that this becomes, so like let's do the stages here. Here comes. Right, and then becomes ma. Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only other stage.
Yeah, so you're saying like at this stage suddenly this would get reanalyzed as a coda.
No, I'm just asking, is kya an acceptable syllable?
No, but when you ask the question, that forces one to say because the only other option would be that this is reinterpreted as a coda all of a sudden.
Or there's a reduction where kya becomes ka. Or becomes ka, like a palatal stop. Like.
Okay, well that is a separate thing that we can consider.
Yes,
whether
but like I was not suggesting that the K would be a coda. I'm suggesting that I just want to make sure that we're okay with kyas and quas and.
Yeah. Oh, but like you were thinking that this could just drop out entirely, the way that it does in English with words like quarter and court.
Right. And I'm not suggesting that needs to happen. That was we need to also remember that these situations will occur, and if we want to say that, glides can be in any consonant cluster, done and done, then we're fine.
I'm going to unpurple this. And this is why, because change idea.
Thank you, Minnie. Okay. Oh, and yeah, Luca had the exact same question I did. Thank you. And Jonathan, yeah, you're right. It should be the upside down R. Not that it super matters because since it's IPA, we should be specific.
Yeah, we got time, because after all, it looks weird if you're thinking that that's a trill. It's like, how's that trill doing that? So that's better. Okay, so yeah. Oh my god. All right. Okay.
Okay, so what else can we discuss?
we're going to talk about this 80s snack food commercial where Minnie's saying, "Lay off my Megami."
Nice.
Megami, don't let anybody grab it. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm also thinking of other examples now, though, like where we would almost end up with a coda. What if it were MANIR as the protoform? Not IR, sorry. Let me change that, sorry. MANUR. Manure.
Good one.
Thank you.
Okay. So next.
Next, it would become OA. Okay. Oh, sorry. Then it would be OA.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would become WA.
Okay.
So is noir. That would be like man noir.
Yeah.
It would not be man noir.
No, because why would it get reinterpreted as a coda?
I don't know, because that's how I would say it. Man noir. I feel like any way I say it, I would end up with a coda then. Man noir.
Man.
Oh, God. I can't shove that into one.
Manuel?
Okay.
It's like the name Manuel, in Spanish.
I love that you think that I shove an NW when I say Manuel.
No, but when you, not in English, but like when you pronounce it in Spanish, Manuel.
I love that you think my Spanish pronunciation differs that much from my English pronunciation.
You know what a really tough one was when in Spanish it's an ñ followed by that, such as buñuela.
Cool. So.
Jonathan says he would like to keep KY. It sounds very nice.
I mean, I do too. I'm not saying I want to get rid of it. I'm just asking, like, is this something that we need to be on the lookout for? And I can't answer. Manoir. Okay.
Manoir.
Nice. We only have 2 minutes left. I think we can.
Well, let me
wrap up.
1 minute. Yeah, but let me just throw some of these. This would be a future note. So ultimately, we are going to be dealing with lots of word internal clusters. So it's like, so on. No, not that.
Yeah, we would not have an L, actually.
And it's like, what are some others? Mop.
SI. Or SA, since
Mopsy.
we're doing
Mopsy.
Mopsy.
Oh, that's really cute. And so it is not necessarily the case that these clusters will reduce the way that we've specified above. It could be that certain clusters something will happen to those clusters before anything else happens. And to give you just an example for each one, maybe. Mada. Well, I don't know about marca. Marca. That's probably... Well, could end up as... So what happens to AR? It's just long.
It's just A.
So...
A with the low tone and the...
Marga, and then mapsi.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
It was just like an immediate reaction.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. I like that much better.
Much better. Magi, and then mapsi. I don't know what happened to that one.
Yeah, it's a really... Oh, yeah. I see. I could see that.
And then, like, let's throw another maybe in there. This one's just... Maybe this one becomes that. Anyway, so just, things to come, things that we're going to discuss down the line. Okay. So...
Oh, now we're over.
Yes, now we're over. And so we're really sorry for keeping you late. I know that some of you are going to be late to your next stream, and we really apologize for that. We try to always end on time. Please have your next streamer send us a note, and we'll explain your tardiness so that it doesn't go on your permanent record. Okay, so...
I am very pleased with what we got done today. I am happy with where we're wrapping up, and I can't wait to find out what's going to happen with the whole J and W situation. Mm-hmm. And so, patrons, vote.
Yep. And yeah, so stay grammar, everybody. Next week, back to normal. So it's just going to be me here. My shoulder will be grateful.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so...
Stay grammar.
Yeah.
And see you next week.
Thank you for visiting.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. Okay.
Oh, good.
All right. Next time, everybody. Bye.